Okay, this morning I have a video that's going to be, this will be filmed over a couple of weekends. I'm waiting on some parts to finish this. This is a power station PS1100 instant jump starting power, yada yada yada. I picked this up from a surplus electronics store for $15. And of course the battery's dead. I've already opened it up and figured out all the issues with it. I ordered a replacement battery off of Amazon that arrived yesterday, and I put it in. I've already done some testing with it, so I know that it mostly works. It has a battery tester, a light which turns on this strip of LEDs, and of course the main power switch. So I'm going to turn it over so you can see the insides. This was not really designed to be opened up. Apparently once the battery dies, they kind of just want you to, I guess, buy another one. It has a built-in air compressor, battery charger, and it has a 12-volt cigarette outlet. The battery cables on this are actually pretty hefty. They're not marked as to their size, but I would guess that they're probably 4 gauge or larger. I believe this thing can handle put out about 400 amps just to start a car. So we'll go do a quick rundown here. Along here is where the LED strip was, and whoever must have owned this previously, I guess, abused it somehow, because all but 2 of the LEDs were out, and I didn't have any clear LEDs, so I had to order those. I found a supplier on eBay. The built-in charger is just a wall wart, a 700 milliamp 15 amp wall wart, which really is only good for trickle charging. I wouldn't use it to actually charge this. You could probably, the best way to charge this would be to use the it has a special cigarette lighter to cigarette lighter adapter, or you could just hook up a battery charger to the battery to these. These are very hefty, very well designed. This is not cheap Chinesium stuff, or at least not normal cheap Chinesium. It has, so your battery comes in on this positive little bus here. Power is always applied to this circuit board and to the compressor, and battery is always applied to the this circuit here, or the cigarette plug. Turning on the switch only turns on the battery to the cables. It uses a standard 12 volt 18 amp hour battery. You might be able to fit a larger one, like a 20 or 22. The dimensions are the same, but the posts are different. It also has this, on the compressor, it has this self-resetting circuit breaker. I'm not sure of the amp ratings. It's possibly 15 amps, but not really sure. Doesn't have any markings on it that I can see. So, when I get the LEDs and get that rewired, we'll finish up a little rundown on it, and that's it for now. Okay, it's a nice brisk 36 degrees this morning in my shed. I just recently got the LEDs back after they got lost in the mail. Post office sent them to somebody else. I had to call the post office and have them find it and bring it back. So what I did is I had to replace the LEDs on this. The original ones, these two worked, these three were shorted. I don't know why or how, and I have replaced them with some wide angle LEDs. I then had to recalculate the resistors, do some fine tuning. The idea is I want to keep the amperage no higher than 20 milliamps. These are apparently wired in 2 series strings, this one and these 3. This one adds up to about 6.8 volts, and this one's about 10.2 or thereabouts. I basically set this up for a maximum voltage of 12.8 volts, which is what a battery would put out. The only time you'd really be using this is on battery. However, these, if they were in a complete series string, these could handle 17 volts. But anyways, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reattach it there and then rewire it back in, and we're going to put this thing back together and see how it works. And I don't really need to record all that, so okay, so that's done. The original one was looked like they just put it on here and then just melted these plastic pieces over, so I just put them back on with some hot glue, reattached the positive and negatives to where they were originally, and really the only thing left to do is to close it up, reconnect the power. It has a ridiculous number of screws in it, as you can see here, and they're all really deeply inset, so it's really a pain in the butt to get them back on. So of course I'm not going to videotape or film that. So alright, so it's back together, all the ridiculous number of screws that I had to put in. One was stripped by me. You can see how the battery cables get stowed. They come around and then hook over the top. A little LED light that comes on when you turn it on. Battery test. We're full. And the lights. Pretty bright. One more thing about the lights. I'm not really sure exactly why they were wired the way they were. There's a possibility maybe that as the battery voltage goes down, it would allow the lights to still work, because one string would go out at around 10 volts, but the other one would stay on until it went down to about 6 volts. Also, compressor works, and on the back we have a storage compartment for the compressor hose and accessories. Comes with a inflator valve for like inner tubes or you know, those floating toys, basketball, and there's one other piece that's missing. This doesn't want to stay shut. Looks like it was opened and closed a lot. And this other compartment contains the double-sided cigarette lighter, so you can plug it up and I guess charge it from your car cigarette lighter, or even possibly I don't know, supply power. I don't know. Still not sure why the LEDs were burned out, but those are pretty bright. So that's it.